Hello, everyone, and welcome to my 30-day coding challenge. My name is Rishi, and as you already know, yesterday I took a challenge that I'll try to learn to code in next 30 days. Today is the day one, and I'm very excited to let you all know what I did during the day, what I learned, and I'll try to synthesize my learning in this 10-15 minutes video. And I'll also put all the resources that I used during the day in the description box so that you have access to them and you can dive deeper into any topic that I'm going to discuss here, if you choose to, of course. So, how did I start? Right. Well, I started as any smart person would start in the age of LLM, large language model. I prompted Chat GPT and Google Gemini to make a 30-day plan for me to learn to code. And I was pleasantly surprised. Both of their plans were quite similar, which gave me quite a confidence in their plan. So I'm gonna just go with the Gemini plan for its simplicity's sake. So what did Gemini recommended me to do? So it called the 30-day end-to-end plan. It has divided into 4-week plan. The first week it asked me, and it actually named the plan as skeleton and skin, and it asked me to learn more about front end. If you do not know about front end or other jargon that I'm going to use in some time, don't worry. I'll cover them later into the video so that like you'll have a proper understanding of those. So week one is the skeleton and skin, where it asked me to learn about front end. Week two, it called the logic, where it asked me to learn about JavaScript and React. And week three, it called the brains and memory, where it asked me to learn about backend and database. And week four is the build and launch the project, which is quite nice. It gave me full week to explore few ideas, to build a project and launch it, which I really like. Right. Then how did I proceed? So I prompted ChatGPT and asked me to give specific resources that would correspond to the plan. The first thing it asked me to do is to go on YouTube and watch the video titled How the Internet Works. This is a free code camp video, which is about 1 hour 42 minutes. I would highly recommend if you have time to watch it. This will give you in-depth understanding of how information flows over internet, and you'll also understand more about browser, server, and how server and our phone communicates. What are the protocols in which they communicate together? And then after I watched that video, it asked me to watch a second video, which is front end versus back end. These were basically two different videos which explained a lot about what is front end and what is back end. So backend and front end are the two sides of web development. Backend is something that user never sees. It's server side logic, which helps us to configure servers, configure API. It helps us in database management. And front end is something that user sees and interact with. That's the web page, the visual design of it, and the layout of the web page, and its interactive behavior. So these are the things that are covered in front end development. Well, definitely gonna go deeper into as we learn more about the languages and more about the coding side of it. Well, then the last thing that I read is this article called How the Web Works. It's a 15-minute article. It will give you a brief understanding of what happens when you type any URL into your browser. It will also introduce the concept of DNS, domain name system, TCP/IP, HTTP protocol. All of these are standard protocol which standardize the information over internet and make sure that nothing gets lost in between. Well, it that's pretty much it. That was the whole day. It took me about 3.5 hours to 4 hours to finish all the videos, all the articles. So if I were to summarize my today's learning, I explored how information flows over internet. I learned about the infrastructure that keeps the internet running, and I also learned the key concepts that will guide my understanding of learning HTML, CSS, or the backend logic in the coming days. Well, that's the first day. I guess it was more about the plan today, like to see how we will break down the learnings from understanding the logic of internet, then understanding the brains behind it, then understanding the communication part it, and then probably will start to go and take some practical step into actually building something. Well, tomorrow I'll dive into HTML, the structural building blocks that forms the skeleton of every web page that we see. It's been a fun day, and it's the start of my 30-day coding journey. So thank you very much for joining me here. Thank you very much for your support. And there are a few learnings as well from today's session that I could have taken more detailed notes that I'll try to incorporate in tomorrow's lessons. So yeah, hopefully let's build something amazing together and see you tomorrow. Thank you.